Take every piece of clothing out of your wardrobe right now and line them up. Every shirt, every jacket, every trouser. Now look at that lineup and ask yourself one question. Not whether they fit, not whether the quality is right. Ask this: does each color you own belong on the man standing in this room today? Or does it belong on a version of you from 15 years ago? Because here is what almost nobody in men's style talks about. Color is not just a preference. After 40, color is a decision with consequences. The wrong color does not just look off in the room. It actively works against the face, the body, and the age of the man wearing it. Quietly, consistently, in every photograph taken of him for the last several years. These are the 5 color mistakes that are aging men over 40, and most of them have nothing to do with the colors you think are the problem. Mistake number 5, wearing colors that fight your skin undertone. And this is the foundation, the one that makes every other color decision either work or fail. Every man's skin has an undertone, not the surface color, the underlying cast that sits beneath it. Warm undertones have a golden, yellow, or peachy base. Cool undertones have a pink, red, or blue base. Neutral undertones sit somewhere between both. This matters because colors have undertones too. A cool gray, a bright white, an icy blue. These are cool-toned colors. A camel, a warm olive, a soft rust. These are warm-toned colors. When a man's skin undertone and his clothing color undertone conflict, the effect is visible and immediate. The skin looks flat. The face looks tired. The overall impression is of a man who looks older than he should. The quick way to identify your undertone: look at the inside of your wrist in natural daylight. If the veins appear more green, your undertone is warm. If they appear more blue or purple, your undertone is cool. If it is genuinely difficult to tell, your undertone is neutral, which means you have more flexibility than most. The fix: warm undertone men lean toward earthy, golden, olive, and rust tones. Cool undertone men lean toward blues, grays, burgundies, and crisp whites. This is not about eliminating entire colors. It is about choosing the right version of a color. A warm undertone man does not avoid gray. He chooses a warm gray rather than a cold one. That single distinction changes how the face reads in every photograph. The most aging thing a man can do with color is choose randomly. The most effective thing he can do costs nothing. It just requires understanding which direction his skin is pulling. Mistake number 4, high contrast combinations that work against the face. And this is the counterintuitive one, because high contrast feels powerful. It looks decisive in the mirror, and then it shows up in photographs looking slightly too harsh for the face wearing it. Here is the principle. As men age, the contrast levels in the face naturally reduce. The hair softens from dark to silver. The skin tone becomes more even, less vivid. The features settle into a more considered range of tones. This is not a negative change. It is what gives men their authority after 40. But it means the face is operating in a lower contrast register than it was at 25. When the outfit operates at dramatically higher contrast than the face, jet black against pure white, very dark tops against very light bottoms, the face loses the visual competition. The eye registers the contrast in the clothing first, then arrives at the face as an afterthought. The result is a man who looks like he is wearing his outfit rather than the outfit serving him. The fix: medium contrast is the register that tends to work best after 40. Not no contrast. Flat, toneless outfits have no visual interest. But the gap between the lightest and darkest element in an outfit should be smaller than a man instinctively reaches for. Deep navy and medium gray. Warm camel and off-white. Charcoal and stone. These combinations have contrast without the drama that competes with the face. After 40, The face has earned its place as the most interesting thing in the room. The color combination should be confirming that, not competing with it. Mistake number 3. Colors that visually shorten and widen the body. The one that is working against the body every time a man gets dressed, through no fault of the individual garments. Most men understand that dark colors slim. What they do not understand is the specific mechanism that makes this work, and how to use it deliberately rather than accidentally. When a man wears a significantly lighter color on the lower body than the upper body, the eye is drawn downward. Light advances visually. It comes toward the eye rather than receding from it. Light trousers in a pale stone, a bright khaki, or a washed-out beige pull the visual weight of the entire outfit to the lowest point. The legs appear shorter. The midsection appears wider where the two tones meet. The overall silhouette reads as bottom-heavy. After 40, when the body has naturally shifted toward a different center of gravity than it had at 30, this effect is amplified. The areas where most men carry additional weight, the midsection, the hip, become more visually prominent when a lighter color sits there. The fix. Match the tonal register of the upper and lower body more closely. Not identical colors. Tonal variety is what makes an outfit visually interesting. But the lower body should not be dramatically lighter than the upper. If the trouser is light, the top should be equally light. If the top is dark, the trouser should be in a medium or dark register that follows rather than contradicts it. Color is not just about which color you choose. It is about where you place the tones and what that placement does to the proportions of the man wearing them. 2 more to go, and the last one is the color mistake most men over 40 are making right now without any awareness that it is happening. Before we get there, which of these first 3 has made you look at your wardrobe differently? Drop it in the comments. I read every reply. Mistake number 2, the wrong neutrals, the invisible one. The mistake most men never see because it hides inside the category of safe choices. Neutrals are supposed to be the answer. Gray, beige, tan, stone, off-white. These are the colors men reach for when they want to look refined without taking risks. And they are right that neutrals work. The problem is not neutrals. The problem is the specific version of neutral they are choosing. Every neutral has an undertone. A gray can lean warm or cool. A beige can lean yellow or pink. A stone can read earthy or icy. A cream can be warm and golden or cold and stark. Men who are choosing neutrals by name, I am wearing gray, gray is safe, are missing the decision that actually matters, which is which gray and whether that specific gray is working for or against them. Cool-toned neutrals, icy gray, cold stone, stark white, tend to create a specific aging effect on men with warm undertones. They drain the natural warmth from the skin and replace it with a flatness that reads as tired rather than composed. The man looks his age or slightly older. Change the gray to a warm gray, identical in lightness, different only in undertone, and the same face reads differently. The fix. When choosing neutrals, do not choose by name, choose by undertone. Hold the garment up in natural light and ask, does this color pull warm or cool? If it pulls cool and your undertone is warm, it will drain you. If it pulls warm, it will work with you. This applies to every neutral: gray, beige, cream, stone, white, tan. The right neutral looks invisible in the best possible way. The color disappears and the man wearing it becomes the focus. The wrong neutral also looks invisible, but takes some of the man's vitality with it. Mistake number 1. Colors that drain gray and silver hair. Silver and gray hair is one of the most powerful visual assets a man over 40 can have. It signals experience, authority, distinction. In photographs, it immediately separates the men who look composed and settled from the men who look like they are still figuring things out. And most men are wearing colors that are quietly working against it every single day. Here is the mechanism. Silver and gray hair is visually cool-toned. It has a blue and silver undertone that reflects light with a particular brightness. When the clothing around it is also cool-toned, cold grays, muted blues, icy whites, pale stones, the hair and the clothing compete in the same tonal range. Nothing contrasts against anything else. The hair loses its power. The face blends into the outfit. The overall impression is of a man who has become slightly invisible. What silver and gray hair wants, what makes it look like an asset rather than simply an age marker, is warmth below it. Warm tones in the clothing create contrast against cool tones in the hair. That contrast is exactly what makes the hair look distinguished rather than just gray. Camel, warm olive, burgundy, chocolate brown, rust. Terracotta at the right depth, rich navy with warm undertone. Any color that carries warmth will do this job. This is the most underused piece of color knowledge in men's style. A man who understands it can make his gray hair work for him in every single outfit he owns, at no additional cost with no new garments. He simply needs to stop choosing the colors that quietly flatten it. Gray hair is not a limitation. It is the most powerful piece of styling a man over 40 naturally possesses. The only question is whether the colors around it are letting it speak or quietly telling it to sit down. So those are the 5. Wearing colors that fight your skin undertone. High contrast combinations that outpace the face. Colors that visually shorten and widen the body. The wrong version of a neutral. And colors that drain the power from gray and silver hair. None of these require a new wardrobe. Most of them start with looking at what you already own and asking not whether the color is right, but whether it is right for you, for the undertone you have, for the hair you carry now, for the proportions of the body you are dressing today. Color is the most powerful variable in any outfit and the least understood. A man who gets it right does not look like he tried harder. He simply looks like himself. If this gave you something useful, hit the like button. And if dressing better after 40 actually matters to you, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Stay sharp.